Welcome to White Label American Podcast. This is a podcast that brings you bold, in-depth interviews with interesting people that are mostly immigrants taking down artificial walls one story at a time. This is a podcast that empowers immigrants to share their stories and listen to those of others. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to another episode of White Label American. Thank you all for joining us today on this super special episode. So, who do I have in the studio here with me today? We shall start with our first timer. Who are you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Weyu Hodge, and I am also a podcaster. Happy to be here today and join the show.
Awesome. And we have another returning guest. You know what? We should start charging this gentleman rent.
Maybe I should start charging you
No, we
for
should
my
start
guest
charging
appearances.
rent. Well, no, we're not charging you for guest appearance. We'll charge you for rent, so that'll cover your guest appearance. But welcome back, and let the audience know who you are again.
My name is Corey Gumbs. I am the founder of the Black Podcasters Association and BlackPodNews.com.
That's right. Welcome again. So how's everybody doing today?
Doing well.
Good.
And thank you for joining me. So today it's going to be a little bit different from the usual. And we're going to have a one-on-one with Weyu coming up soon. She just has to lock down the date. So that's for transparency purposes. So I know people are like, we've never had Weyu before. I'm like, yes, you haven't. But we're just sprinkling the salt so you guys know that's coming. It's coming. Might be a Christmas bonus. I don't know. I won't tell you anymore. But we all were in Baltimore recently. And why were we in Baltimore? Weyu, you want to let people know why we're in Baltimore?
Yes, we were at a podcast festival, Afro Podcast Festival, and it was great. To see so many Black creators in the space, producers, creators, every aspect of the creation world was there.
Awesome. So, Corey, what was it like for you?
Well, Afros and Audio is our community partner, so it's important that I be there. It was great. It was a great venue. I had a great time. It's like a family reunion. You get to see people you talk to virtually or, cross paths here and there every once in a while. But to finally get to hang out with them for the weekend and actually learn some stuff about podcasting from some of those great people that you've learned to become friends with, but also idolize in the space. Or I don't want to say idolize, but, you respect the work that they do. So it was a great experience, and it was a great venue, and just had a great time.
Oh, yeah. It's family reunion is the word.
Yeah.
I think that's become my family reunion event because it was so good to see people that I'd seen last year, and then there were others who you've built that relationship with online, and you're like, oh man, you're here, I see you in person, and they're just as awesome as they are online. In person, so you're like, whoa, and the vibe was just right, and you didn't feel like, oh, I don't want to hang out with you, that kind of thing. No, you feel like, yeah, I want to hang out with you, even if the music is too loud. I still want to hang out with you.
It was loud.
But yeah, it was beautiful. The city of Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. Loved it. I forgot to go back to the HBCU store that I found on Friday when I arrived. Yeah, I saw that store and I said, oh, I'll circle back to this. And then I completely forgot because, the event was just so engaging, doing so much that, by the time it was time to rest, I just went straight to rest.
So did you see the email that was sent out on Friday? So Baltimore is now the home of Afros Audio Conference, so it's going to be happening there more often. So you have a chance to go back to the HBCU store.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also excited about that because I wanted to explore the museum a bit more. And I didn't get to see the museum because there were so many sessions during that time. So I'm excited to go back and be able to have time to do that.
And for those who do not know, what's the name of the museum?
Reginald
Reginald.
F. Oh man, Lewis.
That's right.
With one of the first black billionaires in America. They have a museum out in Baltimore for him. So
I did
dedicated
not
by
know
him,
that.
So
I did not know that. I just thought it was, one of the black historical figures out there.
yeah.
And he is a black historical figure, but I wasn't aware of the billionaire part of it. And I just listened to, let me pull up the name so I'm sure I get it right. That was Mary, I think it was Marion Plume on Drapetomaniacs. Shout out to Drapetomaniacs team. The most recent episode, and I was like, oh, she was like one of the first black, or if not the first black woman billionaire in history. And I was like, oh, and coming there, I was like, oh, I'm just getting black billionaires all of a sudden. Is this a sign? Might be a sign I might become a black billionaire. Who knows? Who knows?
Or you might know one.
I might know one. Who might throw some millions my way too. Hey, all I know is a good sign. It's a very good sign.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, wow. Let me see. Mary Ellen. I was close. I knew there was a Mary. I was close with the name. But,
So close and yet so far away.
so far away. But, yeah, like I'm far from the billions right now. But so, can you share a moment from Afros and Audio Festival that stood out to you the most?
I think for me, I just started podcasting, so it was a great event to meet different people and also like to put myself out there and say like this is something that I'm doing, right? But something that really stood out to me was the end of Afro Audio when it was announced. If anyone wants to say anything about the festival, like what you took from it, or if you would like to say anything to people that you met, and a couple of people went up. And there was just a lot of people expressing gratitude for being in community. As a Black creator, it can also often feel like you're lonely and you're doing this work. People are listening to you, right? And you have an audience, but you're often doing this work on your own, right? So it feels good to be in a space where I had so many conversations with different people. There were people from like England that were creators. There were people from like all over. Somebody I met from Jamaica, right? So people
She's suspect. That Jamaican.
Yeah.
She's suspect. She should be on the podcast soon too. So, yeah.
But it was wonderful just to see and be in a space together and have conversations around what our struggles are, what our obstacles are, but what is the beauty that we're actually creating too.
Yeah, correct.
So me, all right. So my experience is a little different. This is the second time I attended the in person. I got to shout out Raphael because Raphael held down our table. He did a whole day of interviews. He could have went to the conference. So, and I think that was it. It was the sense of community, like just everybody stepping up, everybody helping, having fun, but also stepping up and helping not only Talib and the team there, but also myself. Having community members saying, "What do you need?" But I think, I think this one was a little bit special because it almost didn't happen. So I think that's the takeaway. Is like when there was a need, a call to the community for assistance, people stepped up to help mitigate some of the cost of that gap that was there. Because a lot of us were in limbo. A lot of us were like, "Well, this is happening. If it's not," and typically people tend to panic and say, "Oh." If it's not, if I don't know, I'm not gonna go. So, I think for me, the turnout and just the community being there was the biggest takeaway. And there was just a lot of great, hearing from people and seeing their presentations was just like, okay, it's great content.
Yeah, presentations were fire. And shout out to my team here, Walter, Josh. They gave me some of the skills that I was able to apply over there with my photography, with my video taking. What I was doing all that too. No, but it was also my second time attending in person, and it's. I don't think if I hadn't attended last year in person and even from when I attended virtually, if I hadn't felt the community, if I hadn't felt like this was my place, I don't think that I would have been comfortable enough to step up
Mhm.
and be like, yeah, I want to participate, I want to be involved. So being able to man a table confidently and be like, yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I'm still hearing people speak, so it's not like I'm losing out. So I can do this. Don't worry, go do what you need to do, and I'm not feeling like I'm losing out. No, I was gaining a lot, and I'm still building new skills, and I'm having fun. I'm interacting with people and reconnecting with people who I thought I'd lost touch with, and it was just last time I manned the table, at an event, I think it was even first. Let's say first time I manned the table at an event was I was barely 3 months in America, 2 3 months in America, let's say 4 months in America, and the person was like, "You going? I'm going to give like 500, $500." I was like, "Oh, I don't make money," and I never seen that man again till to, to this day. My mom asked me after the event, it was our tribal event. It was in New Jersey. It was like, oh, how much did that man give you? I said, give me. I never said, man, the man said he would call me. I said, call you? Yeah, I ain't gonna call you. It's like, then why you introduce me to the man and put me at the table? And, that kind of, that was like my experience from doing manning tables and being at an event. I was supposed to be community. And so I'm like, wow, I don't care about community. This is how community treats you. And nah, I'm not coming community. Keep your community. I don't care. So that was already the beginning of my interactions with community, with the word community, and you can understand why I wasn't too keen on coming out to events, and then but Afros and audio has begun to change that, and I'm not like I'm not like I don't hear that word. No, I know that this is a great community, it's a great place to be, and it's just love. The vibe is right. So yeah, I'm so grateful for it. So and the British normally when I hear the British are coming, I'm like that's bad news, bad news, Jones. Especially for if you're a soccer fan, you know where I'm coming from. Especially World Cup season, you hear that like here we go, here we go, here they go, loud noise makers, here we go. But that was a great presentation. Those guys chose the right. They're good. Their wordplay was good. Their titles, respect to them. I hope they told me they will come on the podcast. So, yeah, I hope to have them here. And my relationship with Britain might be on the mend. Let's put it that way. We're gonna be friends. So. Ah.
I think it was great to have them there too, because now it's showing you we're on an international,
Yes.
and it's not just. I think one of the issues in and you know this, Raphael, because I talk about this all the time with the community, is trying to bridge using podcasting to bridge the gaps, so that we can start having those conversations and me personally dispel the myths and the stereotypes and in the confusion that happens in that diaspora between here and Britain and Caribbean and Africa and even parts of East Asia and all that stuff. So
It's not just parts
in South
all of Asia.
South
The whole
America,
world.
Latin America, all of
And
that.
the whole
So
world. If you see what's she's been on this podcast. Trying to remember her channel. I'm terrible. I remember her name, not her channel. But she doesn't use her name on YouTube. But her channel shows that there's a black community in every single country on earth.
yeah,
And I'm sorry, my sister, I keep forgetting your channel's name at the wrong time. But it will come to me probably at the end. But she's the moment that's why I had to bring her on the podcast, because when I stumbled on her YouTube channel, I was like, oh wow. From every single country she touched on, there's some black history from even uh, um, when the Russian Revolution happened, there were black people involved that and that the stuff that makes people turn into that claim they love socialism now, but nobody knows the black people that were involved there. The Turkey Ottoman Empire, there's black people involved. Every single country, there's one black person who nobody knows. Everybody acts like what? I'm like, there's one black person involved in every single country. So there's connections, there's bridges we can build into all these places. Yes, there's language barriers, but we can overcome it. That's the good thing we can do. And I already have a design for a panel next year, which I've borrowed an idea from the British, and I can say it right now. We still will fine tune the rest. It's called "The End of Diaspora Wars."
You know,
We're
I'm glad you came up with that because
Yeah.
you know, that was one of the first things when I started the BPA was that, you know, I remember I used to talk to you about like, how do I meet, you know, connect with the you know, the African contingent so that we can start figuring out how to work together in this podcast space. So
Yeah.
that's it. Now you got me excited. I want to see that happen.
Yeah, we're going to start it. I have a few people who bring in. Yeah, we'll have a lively discussion and should throw some darts.
I don't know because
Yes.
the way you guys were acting, you know, the whole little African contingent that was going on. Oh, y'all, well, y'all was going at each other. I don't know. Do we need to have like security or something?
Yeah, you need security. You know, it's look for audience.
It was
you guys-
all love too. I just want to say it was all love. It
there
was just
the,
funny as hell.
East Africans finally met me, and I met my version. The you know, if you're watching Loki, you know there's variants, and I met a variant of myself times 20 from East Africa, and Lord have mercy. She said she'll be on the podcast. I'm like, I don't even know how we'll record that episode because it's like a smaller version of me with way too much energy. I'm like, they need to ban you from energy drinks. They need to ban you from coffee. They need to ban you from. I'm like, dang, right? They made you. Who made? Why did I approve that? And she's like, why did I approve you? And I'm like, you got game. I can see we're gonna be good friends.
Yeah, it was good entertainment just watching y'all.
Yeah, it was. So,
But that's what makes the conference so fun. Like, you know, two people meet and then they just hit it off, and you know, now look,
Yeah.
guys are like almost the best of friends.
So that's why I've been trying to talk to some of our brethren in Australia, in Czech Republic. I will definitely reach out to Black women in Europe. They got a large network of Black women who they know all over the European diaspora, and they know more people too in Asia and other places. So, yeah, we need to reach out to as many people, and you all come, you all bring something, bring whatever you want to bring to the table, and all that contributes to the end of this diaspora war and all this stuff, because all that stuff is just it's just engage. It's all part of the engagement thing of social media. But you know, that when I lost a former friend, he used to be a friend, but you know, the day I lost him on Twitter he was fighting someone else who I don't know, but he was in another fight, and then he tagged me and said, like, wanted me to come respond and fight, and I was like, I don't know the person, so what is going on here? Why are you in this fight? I know you've never left the city in Nigeria that you live in. You never left that region. So what is this? And he's like, oh, so you're not gonna back me? That's why cops, you deserve to be shot by cops. And I'm like, oh, okay, that escalated quickly. But this was just like 2-3 years before the NSAS protest, and I was like, bro, but I know where you live in Nigeria. I lived in that city, and I know how police treat you there. So you're saying I deserve to be shot by police in America, but don't police mess you up too? I know you're a boy like me, so yeah, I know how police treat you. So it's like, and next thing I knew, he was tagging people who I didn't know on me, and they were all coming to. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes on a shouting match online where we can't even hear each other. So deleted, blocked, and deleted. Bye. I was sorry to lose you, but not sorry to lose you. That was the end of a relationship, and that was it.
It happens.
So
Trust me.
but
No.
every now and then I see that diaspora one, I just look, I'm like, who's the first person to have started this online? And it's probably a bot. Somebody who does not look like us, but they
Wait,
figured out.
is it diaspora wars like account or something?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or
if there's an
hashtag?
account. But it's just like when there's gender wars. There's always it always picks up. I don't look for it anymore, so it never pops up on my timeline.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I deserve entertainment. I deserve laughter, but it's not even entertaining anymore because it's just you just see people who are unlimited. It's like they have unlimited anger. But every now and then it strays into my vision, or somebody would think they're doing me a favor, so they'll report, "Hey, bro, you should talk about this on your show." I'm like, it's like the person who thought he was attacking me on YouTube, and was like, "When you gonna bring up Joe? What's Joe Biden's son, the problematic one? When you gonna talk about his laptop?" So
clearly, you could tell who doesn't listen to your show, right?
I'm like, hey man, you can buy merch too, though. You know what I mean? You can buy merch and set it on fire. Buy the merch first.
What you pay for, you can do whatever you want to do with it.
If you want to protest,
please make a video so more people can buy it and burn it.
Hey, just please do that first before
Share the link.
Share the link. This guy needs to be canceled. This liberal, call me whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
You won't call me the N-word. I don't care.
Slow down. Hit the brakes on that one. No. All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're not doing it to my face. Don't come in my face.
Yeah.
Do it on your video. Say this guy, whatever y'all call me that, but still buy the match first. Light it on fire. Shoot it.
Oh, and listen to the episode too, so you have even more things to be angry about.
Oh yeah. Please do listen to the episode. So, hi everyone. If you're new to the podcast or a returning listener, and you enjoy what we are doing here, did you know that you could enjoy more of our content and also support our work via Patreon? For as little as $3 per month, you get access to loads of bonus content that you'll find nowhere and be the first to the latest news. Don't miss out. Go to patreon.com/White Label American Pod or just search for White Label American Podcast on Patreon. Patreon. Yeah, but when I see people like that hit me up, I'm like, yeah.
But I think you're talking about that. I think that's why conferences like these are important, because those type of microaggressions happen at other conferences. Now I can't talk about other because I haven't been to them, but my stance where I'm at, people come talk to me and we talk about these things behind the scenes, and it's like, really, that happened? Like, really, that somebody did that to you? And it's like, and then when somebody says to me, well, why is there a Black Podcast Association, or why is there Afros and Audio? And I'm like, the fact that you even had to ask that is the answer to the question.
Yes.
But it's just a good space for you to come. You don't have to worry about all this stuff, and and Talib does a great job. He really tries his best to incorporate Black businesses locally and stuff into the process.
Yeah, shout out to Talib, man.
So I think it's important, but it's really a good safe space. You can, this was your first time, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and I think the conversation about having more conversations about what global looks like is really important, because that is something that I deal with on my podcast, especially my season is going to be bilingual. And I had a moment where I was like, is this a good, I know my audience are probably majority of color. Should I introduce that I'm doing things bilingual or trilingual, right? Are they going to stop listening to me? So going to Afros and Audios was really helpful to see we're trying to introduce this conversation around what does Blackness look like globally.
Yeah.
And conversations around my podcast. We're talking about Blackness in Central America, right? In the Caribbean, and organizing around that. So I really loved how that conversation is part of this community. And I hope that it expands beyond that too.
All right. So we don't have much time, so I will limit the amount of questions I ask.
I know you got a lot of them.
Oh, I got a lot. I got a lot. I got 20 questions, but I'll tone it down. I'm bringing down. I'm not like Miss Minutes for lucky fans. But what advice would you give to someone who is preparing to attend their first Afros and Audio podcast festival?
You want to start first?
I could go first. Oh man, there's so many things. I think if I was going to give somebody advice on their first you know, be prepared to meet some cool people, right? Be prepared. Don't be shy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's welcoming. Everybody's shows love, and they'll probably most likely introduce you to a ton of people. So have plenty of business cards, your own merch, or some stuff, whatever you're gonna do to help promote yourself. Have that with you, and tell people about it. Like let people know you're going. Don't hide. Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that's
But
big.
if you're a podcaster, or even if you're somebody coming who's interested in podcasting and you want to come to the conference, come with your questions. There's plenty of people that can answer your questions that are going to be there. But come prepared with questions. Be there to learn. Be there to have fun. So yeah, I think that's really about it. And just make sure you have your contact, your websites, all that stuff. That Raphael knows. I put that in the group. Hey, make sure your stuff is set up. Your episodes. You're gonna promote yourself. Make sure you have all that lined up. Double check it. Double check your bags. Make sure you don't leave your laptops or anything necessary at home. Okay.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, speaking from experience. So just double check all your stuff and just make sure you have everything you need to promote what you're doing.
Yeah, I would say it's really good to reflect on what the means for you. So if there's something that you're struggling with, or if you haven't even started a podcast yet, think about like topics and things that you would like to explore, that you would like to ask. And we had a really great app for this conference. It's called Huva. And we got to see like who's going to be the speakers, what were the topics. I would say beforehand, just look at that and think about how you're going to plan out your day, because there were so many interesting places I wanted to go to. But it's really good to like hone in on what are some things I want to pick up and learn, right? And who do I want to meet, right? What are they doing, right? And sharing that with them as well.
Awesome.
Oh, I'll do you because you said something.
Okay.
Don't come the day of. Come a day or two ahead if you can, or stay. Even if maybe stay a day or two after, because a lot of people stay. They come beforehand. I don't want people to miss like the kickoffs and people are coming like in the middle of Saturday and you're missing some great content. So if you plan on dedicate your weekend to it. If you want to sightsee in the city, whatever, come a day early or stay a day later if you can afford to, so that you can get a chance to do the full experience and even maybe do some breakfast with some people who might have been busy during the conference that might have some time because they stayed the extra day.
That's right. So. Great. That's great. That was great. So, 2 questions that will step away from. Let me step away from the festival, Afros and Audio Podcast Festival. If you could have any dream guest on your podcast, who would it be, and why is it me? But yeah, go ahead.
You want to start? Me?
You can go first.
Okay. I'm thinking about, I know like season 3, I want to focus on Black people in South America. So I'm thinking about Chaku Town. I know that is far-fetched, but an Afro-Colombian group that is very pro-Black. Okay. And I would love to learn more about that and hear about like what they're currently up to and what they're doing now. So I would love to have some Afro-Colombian folk on my podcast.
Okay, well that's not beyond the reach of possibility.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
But you must have like a dream guest that's like that looks.
A dream guest.
Mm-hmm.
I find that like the people that I'm thinking about, like people that I admire, I want to hear like stories from people that like are doing things for the communities every day, and I don't even like know their names, right? Okay. So like I guess I'm thinking about I've done a lot of work in Bolivia with Afro-Bolivians there. So like even having folks from Moca Sabal, which is an Afro-Bolivian movement there in Bolivia, right? So like having them and showcasing the work that they do. So thinking about like people we don't really know, they're not famous necessarily, but they're like doing the work on the ground in these places.
Okay. That's a group in I think they're Afro-Colombians. they're a music band of
Mm.
women. They do Afrobeat, not the thing people call Afrobeats. The real Afrobeat. I think Colombia. I'll send them to you on Instagram. I follow them on Instagram. Yeah, they might interest you. They might be of interest to you. So I know, Kari, this question is a little bit different for you, but still oblige me.
I don't know who I said last time you had me here and they asked me that question, but I'm gonna say, for me, Steve Jobs.
Mm.
Steve Jobs. I have questions.
I've been interested.
I have things that I conversations I want to have with him about building products and building a company from the ground up and understanding how, markets and users and all that stuff. So yeah, Steve Jobs.
That's fair enough. All the question I have for him would have been, why did your company not, why did they have to deny me my credit when I was brand new in America? And that's why I never owned an iPhone. Because I was like, F you all. Since you all said, I don't have credit and I got deposited a ridiculous amount of money, I said I was never going to own an iPhone. That's why I never joined Team Apple until this day. Love my
It's
Android.
been your loss ever since, but okay.
What? Oh, man, I don't do that. They discriminated against me when I was at the bottom. Now
I
I'm
mean,
here.
that's how credit works.
Oh, man.
True.
It's credit worthiness.
Samsung didn't. Samsung showed me love. They accepted me. They said, come on here. And that's why. It's like, never to Apple. But I like Apple TV. So we can still work things out.
So you mean there's a chance?
I don't know about a chance, but okay. I've also used an Apple and MacBook back in the days.
There's probably a variant of you that's like all macked out.
Probably.
On the timeline.
I don't want to think about that variant. That's a terrible variant. It's probably pure villain. Pure everything I hate. He likes. Does DC Comics only.
Mac DC Comics only.
So, what's the most? And this is going to be the final question. What's the most unexpected lesson you've learned about podcasting or the industry in general since you've been in this game?
I'll let you take this one.
So as a new podcaster, I'm learning that, how can I say, be patient? Because podcast is not something where, for some people, it blows up and it's like, oh my God, great. But for most people, this is something that you have to be like really passionate about. And it sometimes take a while for you to really establish yourself within a field, to figure out who your audience is and also be able to monetize that, right? So I think it's really helpful to be able to like talk to people and ask them what their experience were as a new podcaster, and also learn how they are like monetizing, because it's really important for you to be passionate about the work that you do. But I think for especially Black creators, it's very important that you're getting paid for the work that you do as well. So that is something that I learned.
What have I learned? That there are people out there that will support you no matter how crazy your idea is. I've learned that. I think the main thing I learned is like, people are going to support you. There's companies that will support you. There's people that will support you. There's communities out there that will support you. I think in the podcast industry right now, we're still trying to sort out like community stuff, but there's some really great people. I've reached out to people. They've reached out to me, and we've become, I consider some of those people friends now. And you would think, oh, this person's in the Hall of Fame, or this person's running this company or doing that. And you just realize there's like a regular person like yourself. So that's been a big surprise. And that also, in the people of color content creation space, we are not monolithic. I think that I'll drive that point home all the time. But there are people out here with some really great shows that are talking about things like gardening or, tech. There's a lot of shows out here that are struggling, and they're fighting to stay alive in this space. but they, we're not just sports gossip and relationship podcasts.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for not only our community to know this, but also like brands and companies to understand like this type of content has its place, but not all of us are engaging in that content. So you should be stop looking just in one direction.
That's right.
And look in other directions.
That's right. That's right. Excellent. I can't top that. But that both of you covered my thoughts on that answer. You covered my answer, in fact. So I'll leave it there. Baltimore, shout out to Baltimore, love for Baltimore, and shout out to Talib, Jassier, and the organizing team of the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival. Love you guys. Loved it's a great experience. I can't recommend it enough to people. If you can't, for any reason, come out there, or you're not a Black creative, buy a ticket for a Black creative. Sponsor somebody.
Raphael, real quick, because I know you have a diverse audience. I want people to know too, like even though
you can come too. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, come through, because you might learn something. If you're trying to podcast, you might learn something different.
Yes.
Or get a different perspective, and you build your network of different content creators. So
that's right.
Even though it's kind of for us, by us, it's open to people.
I mean, we had people from the Latino community there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Afro Latinx too.
Yeah. And they came in support. So we appreciate that. So come out there, show support. I mean, we support we have supported our communities in New York here. So so come support us, show us love. We need y'all. And keep the love coming in. So any final words before we wrap up?
Just stay inspired. Yes, and continue to meet people, as we mentioned before. If you're in the podcasting space or seeking to get into the podcasting space, that's my advice for you.
All right.
Thank you for having me here and being a part of this. And podcasting is a marathon, not a race. It takes time. It's a learning curve. You're not just going to jump on the mic and become the best podcaster ever. And if you're an independent podcaster, stop looking at the celebrity podcast. They have their place as well, but you want to bring your own flair and your own touch to it. So, and don't be afraid to learn. Always be learning. Yes. Always be learning.
Always. If you're not learning, you're dead.
Yeah.
Even zombies learn. I mean, check out some of the new movies. Some zombies be doing something.
Kind of saw that in Last of Us, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Please let the people know where they can find you guys, how to get in touch.
So again, my name is Weyu. I am the host of Labyrinth of the First Gen. You can reach me at IG, Labyrinth of the First Gen.
All right. My name is Corey Gumbs, the founder of Black Podcast Association. Look, it's a long name. Just go on your favorite social media platform. We're most likely on there, but typically Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called, TikTok. And just search for Black Podcasters Association and we'll come right up. And yeah.
Awesome. And if they want to submit their podcast on the Black Pod newsletter.
So if you want to subscribe or if you want to learn more about Black Pod News, you can go to blackpodnews.com. That's BLK podnews.com. And you can subscribe and, on there you can learn how to submit for our Feature Friday, submit your podcast for our new releases, and a whole lot more.
Awesome. So I can't thank both of you enough for coming here. Mbana, as my people say, or Dankeschön, as my wife says. I forgot the rest of it. Thank you. So, Shukran, as my Arabic people also say. And to everyone listening, hey, thank you for being on this incredible journey with me. I'll see you at the next episode. And if you're angry, remember what to do. Buy merch first before you complain. Buy merch first. All right? Share with your friends and loved ones. See you at the next episode. Thanks for listening to White Label American. If you enjoyed the show, please give a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. You can follow the show on all social media platforms. Visit the White Label American website for links for donations, episodes, feedback, guests, merch, and newsletter. Don't forget to download the free White Label American app on the Google Play Store and Apple coming soon, thank you for the privilege of your company.